I've had the great fortune of being able to work on a variety of different committees. So we've talked about the Legal Ethics Committee already, but the Client Security Fund Study Committee was formed in 2010 to study how to ensure that the Client Security Fund would remain solvent and in place to perform its essential task. It's a matter of trust between the bar and the citizens of the District of Columbia who have been victimized by unscrupulous or fraudulent conduct by members of our bar. And what the Client Security Fund does is it is sort of a compensation of last resort for those clients. And it's essential that that remain in place and valid. And I think the study committee was able to ensure that it would remain so and so the Board of Governors adopted the recommendations. And so I'm very pleased to have been part of that project now about 9 or so years ago. After that, the Global Legal Practice Task Force was a wonderful group of folks interested in two things, really. One was helping to ensure that members of our bar who either practice abroad or whose practice is focused on foreign law or international law are supported and sustained in their efforts to practice law in abroad or foreign law. And the other part of that is the part that I spent most of my time working on, which was what we called the inbound lawyers group. That is, foreign educated lawyers who wanted to come to DC and become members of our bar. And our rules make that somewhat more difficult than we think it ought to be. And so we have proposed some amendments to that rule, and those are actually currently pending before the Court of Appeals right now. But that was a wonderful opportunity to work with a sort of whole different group and constituency of lawyers, and it gave me a tremendous insight into how I think important our bar can be, not just as in the nation, but in the world. And then now the Global Legal Practice Committee, which is the committee I'm now chairing, is sort of continuing that work, thinking creatively about how legal services can be provided to both organizations and individuals, and drawing on lessons from abroad. And then finally, the Pro Bono Task Force, which is the effort by Esther Lim to find a way to take this extraordinary pro bono community that we have in the district and try to target it to the areas of need that are the most acute. And so that committee, the task force rather, has been active quite a bit in the last several months. And I've been involved in this sort of appellate pro bono program, where we have been first sort of learning the best practices from other jurisdictions and thinking creatively about how those may be applied to the District of Columbia. So anyway, all of those experiences with the bar have exposed me, at least, to a wide variety of the issues that the bar confronts. And while I'm not sure that anything really prepares you to be the DC Bar's president, I do feel like I've had kind of the range of experiences that make me feel as though I ought to be able to contribute in this position if I'm elected.